Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a slightly different piece of content for you. It's not going to be edited, it's just going to be me chatting in my mud splattered trackies, which I don't actually know if you can see. I went on a countryside walk just before this, and I've got a peppermint tea that is in a Harry Potter mug from like the early 2000s, I believe. I'm just realising how ridiculously middle class and British this video is. But that's fine. Yeah, I wasn't going to make a piece of content focused on Covid-19, but I think I also need to address what's going on in the world right now and how it impacts people that have a chronic illness like type 1 diabetes. And I want to talk a bit about my experience, but mostly just want to impart some advice and just generally talk about the effects of COVID on people with a chronic illness. So for me personally, I think it's been quite tough, you know? Something that I really value from my healthcare is having face-to-face doctor appointments and nurse appointments so that I can chat through my diabetes care. I think that really energises me and motivates me to give a shit about looking after myself and my diabetes, and without that it's been quite hard. I feel like I've significantly lacked motivation and have experienced slight bouts of diabetes burnout, which, if you're not sure what that is, it's basically when you start feeling really overwhelmed about your diabetes care and as a result don't look after it properly, and you end up having fluctuating sugar levels, and if your sugar levels remain really high for a long time then you can get ketoacidosis, which is basically bad blood. And you can also get loss of vision, you can feel really tired, you can lose weight. There are lots of different impacts of having high sugar levels for a long period of time, and I have had that quite a lot recently, and it's worrying. And as I said, I really value speaking to my doctor in person, and I totally understand that there is a priority towards COVID right now. People are dying and a lot of resources are being allocated to looking after people with coronavirus. But it is a bit shitty when that means people that have other healthcare issues don't have the kind of care that they used to. And it can result in things like diabetes burnout, which I've sort of experienced here and there. I wouldn't say that I've experienced a really massive form of diabetes burnout throughout this pandemic, but to any of those who are experiencing diabetes burnout, and it could just be that you're feeling overwhelmed with another disease or health issue that you have, doesn't have to be diabetes. Let's open this up to everyone. I think my advice would just be to feel it, feel the burnout, really feel it, and mark that moment. Feel a bit glum, feel a bit angry, don't feel motivated, and then reassess, reevaluate, and take those steps towards getting better. Because I think, and this is something that I've definitely done in the past, if you repress how you're feeling, it's just going to get worse, right? And I've definitely done that in the past. I have just thought, I'm fine, everything's fine, I don't feel that overwhelmed, everything's good. And then through doing that, I've had a worse case of diabetes burnout because I've been denying that I needed that break and that moment to just be really sad and angry. And that is my advice. Be sad and angry. Oh, fucking hell. I'm definitely not a healthcare expert, by the way. This is just me giving tips and tricks that have helped me. So please don't come at me and ask me very specific mental health or diabetes care questions, that is always going to be a question for your doctor and for a specialist, not me. But that is also something I would advise, once you've had your moment of feeling a bit shit, reach out to your doctors or nurses, or even just someone in your immediate circle, if it's your family, your friends, whatever, reach out and talk to someone. But in the specific case of reassessing your diabetes care, definitely speak to a healthcare professional. In terms of the actual effects of COVID on type 1 diabetes, the impacts are not as bad as they are on people that have breathing issues. Obviously there's a direct impact there, but with type 1 diabetes, whenever you're experiencing an illness, just having my sip of tea there, basically your body produces extra glucose to give your body energy to fight off an infection, and we as type 1 diabetics don't handle extra glucose very well, and it can result in much higher sugar levels for a long period of time and a high resistance to insulin as well. So basically, if we get infected with something that is incurable, like COVID, that potentially keeps coming back as well, there is that heightened chance of having high blood sugar levels, and that results in the symptoms I was talking about before: fatigue, loss of eyesight, ketoacidosis, weight loss. There are lots of impacts of that. So to anybody who isn't taking this seriously and is essentially being disrespectful to those who are high risk, I would say take a second and just realise that this does affect people. So people are dying from COVID, and it's not okay to not take it seriously. And I realise that there may be bigger diseases that have a bigger impact, but that doesn't matter, because this is having an impact, and I think people need to realise that. So please don't be an arsehole, and realise the impact that you have on others. So that's my short little video for you there. Just thought I'd give you a little update, and I know most of my content is fairly upbeat and positive, and I want to keep it that way, but I felt like I needed to mark this moment and chat through the lovely pandemic that we are going through. Thanks for listening. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.